Veganism is taking off in a big way. That's not my opinion, that's fact. More people than ever are becoming vegan. Take the UK for example. There are now 350% more vegans compared to a decade ago. This is reflected in the growing industries in most sectors. Just take the food industry, where plant-based food sales are up 1,500%. Rarely does a day go by without new vegan options coming out. For example, supermarket giant Sainsbury's recently released a new line of vegan cheese, which exceeded expected sales by 300%. Elsewhere, for example in Australia, Germany, Russia and the US, similar trends have emerged. The campaign Veganuary has broken growth records too, as have the number of people searching for vegan on Google. But there's been a twist, because as people are adopting veganism more and more, there's been a lot of pushback from industry. Corporate leaders clearly feeling threatened, are pressuring lawmakers to nip this trend in the bud. In the US, many states have passed what are known as ag-gag bills. These laws make it a felony to do something as seemingly trivial as take a photograph of a pig on a factory farm. And why? Because it's a threat to profits. And what's worse is it's happening in Australia too. Their new biosecurity bill, dubbed the Australian Ag-Gag legislation, hands power to law enforcement officials, allowing them to prosecute whistleblowers revealing the practices of animal rights abusers. This attempt to stifle dissent, along with the vast livestock subsidies designed to keep meat, dairy and eggs cheap for consumers, shows just how entrenched animal agricultural industries are. The US dairy industry, for example, is currently pleading with Congress to pressure the FDA to issue a ruling that plant-based milk can't be called milk.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police!
BBC's latest clean eating documentary is another case in point. The programme, by many accounts, provided a biased representation of the power of plant-based nutrition under the guise of educating the public about popular diets. It may be no surprise that it later transpired that the presenter's funding source was from Helmholtz Alliance, which is connected with Sanofi Aventis Pharmaceuticals, the 5th largest drug company in the world. Sanofi is the maker of some of the most popular diabetes drugs on the market, Lantus and the newly released Tajour. They also produce a host of drugs that treat cardiovascular disease. Both diseases, incidentally, can be treated and even reversed with a plant-based diet. The conflicts of interest are not always that easy to see, but they certainly exist. As Nelson Campbell, the founder of Plant Pure Nation last week said, the power of industry is enormous, their collusion of academia, media and government runs deep. The harm caused as a result of this industry influence cannot be overstated. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of climate change, species extinction, Amazon destruction, ocean dead zones, antibiotic resistance, and the inefficient feeding of a growing population. So why is there not more awareness of the detrimental effects? Especially considering that meat, dairy and eggs are completely unnecessary for optimal health and are among the largest contributors to chronic disease. Put simply, there is a network of industries and institutions that coexist, embedding themselves in society, and they have a vested interest in holding back veganism. They mutually benefit each other, habituating into us food habits that cause great harm. Unless we question the false bedrock assumption about the role of animal products, for example, that we need meat, dairy and eggs for protein, and rid ourselves of our archaic status quo attitudes, that, for example, things will never change, animal exploitation will be perpetuated, and the health of our planet and its people undermined. But there is hope. The animal agriculture industry and the mainstream media no longer control the messages. Due to the internet, new communication pathways are now available. We have an amazing opportunity to change the world. Let's not be confused by the establishment agenda that far too easily diverts, nor demoralised when their power feels too strong. Stand up, speak up, and I promise you'll be on the right side of history.